All right, you guys, welcome back to the More Than Medicine podcast with Dr. Brad. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the truth about success. It is not nearly what you think it is. Today's episode is going to be another just big aha moment. And if you stick with me throughout this entire episode, I'm just telling you, by the end of this, your definition of success is probably going to be challenged. But if you can understand what I'm going to, the way I will describe what success is, then what's going to happen as a result of that is you'll be able to experience more fulfillment, more future fortune, right? You'll be healthier, wealthier, and life is just going to make more sense. So I'm excited about today's episode. Just to recap, if you listen to last week's episode, I think it was episode 4. But it's the episode where I define what type of doctor you are. So just kind of come back around to that. I defined 5 different types of doctors. One was clinical. The clinical doctor focuses on patients. The chief doctor is a leader. They focus on people. I talked about the creative doctor. They focus on problems, solving problems. I talked about the capitalist doctor who focuses on profit. And then the last one I said is the confused doctor, but I'm actually gonna switch that out with a different type of doctor. And the last doctor is it's the collegiate doctor. This is your attending, the one that is focused on publishing and papers, right? These are the ones that really want to educate and be in a college typical university hospital system where there's attendings and they get an opportunity to teach. They're really focused on professorship. So those are the 5 types of doctors. If you have not listened to that podcast, please listen to that episode. It will give you so much more clarity in terms of what type of doctor you are, and will also provide a whole lot more fulfillment in terms of what you do within the healthcare system, both within and outside the walls of the clinic and of the hospital or of the hospital. So, but to talk about today, we're going to be talking about success. And I'm going to challenge the way you see success as a physician. Most of the way we define success has been based on the way we've been programmed, so to speak. Not necessarily saying it's a good or a bad thing, but we have been programmed in terms of how we see success as a physician. But when you can understand the way I'll define it today, and if you allow that to sink into your mind and your heart, things are going to immediately change. So, for many of us, our current struggle is what I like to define as where I was. We're outwardly successful, but we're secretly stuck. What that means is that we have succeeded at becoming a physician. We're succeeding by the definition of the way our society really defines success. We've become a professional. We're a doctor. Very few people are blessed to have the opportunity to do that or get accepted into medical school and matriculate through its entire process and start practicing medicine. It is a successful thing to do. We typically earn income that is in the higher percentage of all Americans, most Americans. And so by definition, we're successful in that right, but oftentimes we're stuck because we do feel like there is more, like there's something else out there for us. And so we feel this element of regret sometimes. Did I make the right decision? We feel sometimes unhappy, dissatisfied with the work that we do. Doesn't have nearly the amount of impact and significance. And so what happens oftentimes is, as a result of that, we will try to work harder, and create more success, which has been defined by the standard of society, how society defines success, and how the culture of medicine defines success. So what that means for us is, success is the 4 P's, is more patients, seeing more patients, more papers, writing more papers, more procedures or surgeries, and more pay. So that typically is how how success has been defined, definitely within the culture of medicine. But in society, when we're doing those things, we are seen as successful. And so in an attempt to try and be more fulfilled, we kind of think, well, if I just succeed more, well, then I will be more fulfilled. So we try to do all the P's. We do more papers, more patients, more procedures, we get more pay. But oftentimes we're still stuck asking this question, like, why do I still feel like this? Like, I should be happier despite all of this hard work and doing what I thought was the thing to do, is becoming a physician, and I'm working hard and I'm doing all the things, but I should be happier. That's how we feel. Listen, and again, as you may or may not have heard my story before, that's my story. Went to medical school, and came out, started working hard as a double-boarded ER and sports medicine physician, working in the ER, working in my clinic. I'm like, this is cool, but this is not it. Working harder, seeing more patients, working more shifts, building more of my clinic, seeing more, being more of a team physician for more high schools, more teams, doing more. And yes, it resulted in all the P's, more patients, procedures, pay, publicity, right? But it didn't equal more satisfaction or fulfillment. So I remember asking, is this it? Is this all that there is? I should be happier. And so the challenge is that currently the way we define success is the way I just described. It is those 4 P's. And it makes sense because that is how we measure how well we have done. Those are kind of like the measurables for success as doctors. We will say, well, I'm published in this journal, or I have this many publications, or I've done this many surgeries. I get paid this amount. I've gotten this level of publicity. And those are the measures of success. But here's the challenge, is that, and I remember hearing this quote from Tony Robbins back in the day. And I believe he's got a lot of good stuff out there. I believe Tony's got some good stuff out there. Not a fan of everything, but there's a lot of stuff that he's got that's good. I remember he said, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's failure, that success without fulfillment, but it certainly should be a wake-up call. It's got to be a wake-up call that success without fulfillment, am I really succeeding? And I think it's only part of the picture of success is the measurables. But I think that other part of success is success should come with fulfillment. I think that's the whole of success, is that there's fortune, but there's also fulfillment. And I believe having both of those is successful. The measurables, but also the meaning. You have the measurables and you have the meaning behind what you do that gives you that makes you feel good. You feel fulfilled. And so, what I found success to be is not just the measurables. Like I said, it's the meaning behind it. But the way I really define success, and what I found, is that success really is this. My definition of success is being aligned with what God has designed and assigned for your life. I'll say that again, and then I'll break down what that means. Success is being aligned, coming in alignment, being aligned with God's design, meaning that he ultimately has a design and he has already been designing and putting things in place in your life and with his assignment. So part of his design is that he already has an assignment for you within that design. And the more we fall in line with that, that is success. Okay? So I want you to think about it this way. You know, if you think about a football team, right? If you think about a football team, and before I even get to the football team, here's what you got to understand is that God created you for a purpose. And I'm going to use the word assignment interchangeably with purpose. So God created you for a purpose. It is an assignment. It has already been written by him to say that when you follow this assignment, your level of success, which is fortune and fulfillment, will happen. And things will just kind of fall in line, right? Doesn't mean that you won't have challenges and won't have to work, but things will typically fall in line, okay? Plus, it'll be worth the work and the challenge that you have to go through. But anyway, so he's got a purpose and an assignment. And with that assignment, he has already built within you and equipped in you everything that you need to be successful in that assignment. He's already given you the tools. He's given you everything you need. No different than like, you know, like a farmer. It's as if he said, you know what? You're the farmer, but I'm going to give you the land. I'm going to give you the seed. I'm going to give you the shovel. I'm going to equip you with everything. I'm going to give you everything that you need to be successful with this assignment. That's what he's already done. Okay. And so everybody has a different assignment. Now, you may have a similar assignment from someone, but it's going to be different. There's going to be nuances of it. How you execute the assignment might be different. Who you deliver that assignment to, right? But everybody has a unique, different assignment. And success is being aligned with that assignment that he has designed, okay? So I want you to think about a football team, a coach and a football team. So if you think about a wide receiver who run routes and they catch the ball, they do some other things, they kind of block, stuff like that, but they have an assignment. Now here's the deal. They are equipped with that assignment. Typically they're faster. Typically they can catch well, right? They're very quick, right? Now that's different than an offensive lineman. An offensive lineman has an individual assignment on the field as well. Typically, they're bigger, they're stronger, not as fast, but they have a certain amount of leverage and stability that they can use with how strong they are and able to, in order to block well, right? Both playing football, different assignments. And their assignment is oftentimes defined by what they have been equipped with, okay? So the coach then designs plays in which everyone has a different assignment. On a football play, the wide receiver has to run a route, has to run 5 yards and cut right? Another receiver has to run, a fly pattern. They have to run, a long pattern. Follow me here because I'm not sure how much football some of the people who are listening to this may follow, but they may have to just run straight. But the receiver has a different assignment than the offensive lineman on that play that has been designed. right? So on that same play, the offensive lineman has to block. They have to protect. On that same play, the running back has to do something different, right? They may have to run with the ball. They may have to run out for a pass, but either way, everybody's got a unique assignment, okay? Now, can the receiver succeed in another role outside of his assignment? Sure. Like a receiver can do some of the things that a running back does and succeed, right? The receiver can line up in the backfield and get the ball and run. Sure, he can. Can he block sometimes? Yes, and sometimes he is called to block, but that's not his primary assignment. Because here's the deal. When he's outside of his assignment, he may be able to execute that assignment, but he won't be as excellent and he won't be as fruitful, and it will not be as fulfilling as his assigned role as a receiver. So can he succeed out of his assignment? Yes. But is he going to, and he can execute, but he may not excel at the level that he was designed to, and he may not be as fruitful in that assignment, and he may not be as fulfilling. So here's the point I'm making, is that oftentimes what we are as physicians is that we're that receiver that might be out of assignment. We might be working as a running back. Are we executing as well as we can? Probably not. But are we executing to the point to where somebody says, yes, that's successful as the way it's been defined? Yes, I might be successful, but am I excelling? Am I, again, based on this definition of what I'm saying is success, am I aligned with what has been designed and that assignment within that designment? Right? And so, yes, I might be able to succeed outside of that, but it's not real success where I get a chance to excel and be excellent and be extraordinarily fruitful and fulfilled in what I do, because I'm outside of alignment with the design of the play, with the way I've been designed for that assignment. So once we can understand this concept and say, you know what, I'm not going to define my success based on some of the measurables, right? The running back may have running yards as a running back. I mean, the receiver may have, you know, some running yards, and they may have some success within that, but man, they may be extraordinary if they just stayed as a receiver. You know, I mean, I can remember when I played baseball, like I could, you know, when I was younger playing Little League, I could throw the ball. I mean, I could hum the ball, right? So they tried to put me at pitcher. Well, the problem was when I got to pitcher, I had no control. I was hitting people right and left. So see, I had some skill that maybe they said, well, maybe his assignment on this field is pitcher. But once I started pitching, had no control, was hitting people, they were like, well, you know what? Your assignment is best served at third base, because you can still throw the ball fast, get the person out who's running the first, but you don't have to be as accurate. You got to get the ball there, but you don't have to be as accurate. So I had some success as a pitcher because I could throw it fast. And if I got it down, if I pitched for a strike, they couldn't hit it. But instead of resisting what my assignment was, I said, okay, cool. Well, I'll play third base. Did much better and was happier and was much more fruitful, meaning I had more of the tangible success, plus it was more fulfilling, right? So here are the rewards. Here's a reward for redefining success and following this path of success of what I'm talking about. The rewards are you get fulfilled. you enjoy what you do. The other thing is you develop a future potential pivot, because when you're in alignment, you're able to use a lot of the gifts and talents that you already have, and you can do it within clinical medicine, but it's also providing you a possible future way to pivot into something else, into doing something outside of clinical medicine, right? The other thing is, when you're in alignment, there's fortune. There's fortune there. So there's the ability to generate profit. There's all the tangibles, the measurables. One of the great stories I love in the Bible is the story of Joseph. Joseph had a vision of his assignment when he was early in his life, that he would at some point rule over so many people, right? And have all of this authority and even authority over his family, right? Now he had to go through the process of growing and developing and becoming more wise, getting knowledge, becoming humble, becoming patient, becoming a better leader. But at some point he became aligned with his assignment and got to the point to where he was second in command over all of Egypt, right? Well, that came with fortune, that came with fulfillment, that came with force, which is what I mean by force is impact. He was able to impact the lives of so many people once he was able to get in alignment with his assignment, right? So it's no different than you and I. When we become aligned with our assignment and allow ourselves to be molded and grow into that assignment, we can have fulfillment, which is joy with what we do. We can have fortune, all the measurables that we want. We can have force, which is impact on the lives of others, right? So here are the things that the keys to the way I define success. Here's the key to becoming aligned with God's design and your assignment and his assignment for you. Here are the three things that you have to do in order to succeed, in order to become, to get in alignment. One, you have to recognize, right? What do I mean by that? You have to recognize that you are out of assignment. You have to recognize that you're out of assignment. How do you do that? Well, typically, if what you do is fruitful, meaning you have some of the measurables, but it's not fulfilling, there's a high likelihood that you're out of assignment. This is that successful but stuck feeling. Like I'm successful based on the measurables, but I'm stuck because what I'm doing is not doesn't feel meaningful, right? That's one way of knowing I may be out of assignment, right? Of recognizing. That's the first thing, is just the recognition that I'm out of position. I'm out of assignment. Or maybe what you're doing just not as fruitful. But here's the deal. It will oftentimes be more fulfilling at first than it is fruitful with the measurables. It'll oftentimes be more fulfilling first than fruitful. You see, so for example, for me, like, I understood that part of my assignment is to develop people, because and to put it all together, my gifts, my talents is communicating, educating, the ability to take a concept and explain it in a way for somebody to get an aha moment. The development of people, that's part of my assignment. And I've been doing it all my life. And here's the deal, it's rewarding, it's fulfilling. Later, it was fruitful from a fortune perspective, right? It became fortune, it created fortune later, but initially it was fulfilling. So when you become an assignment, you'll start realizing, like, hey, this is fulfilling. The fortune may come later, it may come sooner, but it's not unoften that the that the fulfillment, the significance, the meaning comes first before the measurables. Okay. So first you got to recognize if you're out of assignment. Second thing you got to do is you got to receive. What do I mean by that? You have to receive your assignment. See, it means nothing to understand that there is an assignment for you, but still be unwilling to receive the assignment because you're resisting it. So receiving the assignment says, I'm going to let go of the way I'm trying to define the process of getting to the visions and the goals that I have. And I'm going to put it in God's hands. And I'm just going to receive the assignment that he's already said. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you there's fate. I'm not telling you like, oh man, like God just has it written all out and it's fate. What I'm saying is he knows it's going to happen in the future. But here's the deal. He's saying that in order for you to optimize who you are, I have designed you in a way. In order for you to perform at your best, I have designed you in a way that if you just receive this design and assignment that I have already created, you will be more successful than you trying to do this on your own and trying to outline and map it. Right? It's no different than I said before. I can use this pen for something other than writing. But when used for writing, it works at its best. So when you receive the assignment, you're saying, okay, listen, I'm willing to basically say, I'm going to optimize and perform at my best and trust that the way you have designed things, the way you have designed me and created an assignment for me, that's where I will thrive most. So it's not enough just to know you have an assignment. You've got to be willing to receive it. You've got to be willing to give away the resistance that you may currently have to receiving this other thing. Because oftentimes we're trying to logically understand, like, dude, I have goals, hopes, and dreams. Like, how is me receiving this assignment going to get there? That's not up to you. That's not up to you to figure out. So you have to receive the assignment and be willing to give up the resistance to it, and just know that you will perform at your absolute best by receiving the assignment. What does that look like? That looks like the discovery process, getting clarity around it. This is what I'm here to help with. So if you need to help discover what that is, what that assignment is, to get clarity around that, yes, that's why I'm here. But that's what that looks like, is receiving your assignment, discovering it, getting clarity, and receiving it. The last thing you got to do is repetition of the assignment. Now it's time to put in reps. See, once the receiver realizes that his assignment is running the routes, guess what? He got to run route after route after route after route. He's got to get proficient at it. He's got to get really, really good at it, even though he's gifted, even though he has already been equipped with everything that he needs to succeed. That doesn't excuse him from putting the work to becoming extraordinary. See, you're built for excellence and the ability to excel at what you do for your assignment. You're built for it. But you become extraordinary when you also take what has been given to you and put it to work with repetition. Now you become extraordinary, right? Now you become better than the rest. Now you become one of the best. So just because you've been assigned and you've been equipped does not excuse you from putting in work. So now you put in the repetitions. This is when I started coaching as many people as I could. This is when I started speaking to as many people as I could. This is when I started putting reps in the clinic of saying, you know what, I'm going to look at every opportunity to communicate with a patient, to communicate with staff, to communicate with relationships that I had with the clinic. I'm going to take every opportunity I can to just hone my skill of communication. This is when I'm going to look at life as the ability to just have so many opportunities to just get better, to put in repetitions within my assignment. to run as many routes as I can if you're the receiver, to block as many people as you can if you're the offensive lineman. Right? Now, as a result of this, I want you to imagine, I just want you to imagine what it would feel like to have both. What I mean by both is the fortune and the fulfillment. To have the measurables of success, how we kind of typically define success, but also have the meaning. See, that's the way I feel like we were designed. These are the byproducts. The fortune and the fulfillment, the meaning and the measurables are the byproduct of the assignment being received, of the assignment being recognized, of the assignment being repped out. So life becomes optimal. Our performance becomes maximized when we fall in alignment with our design and the assignment. That is success, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to imagine what that would feel like. I want you to imagine the level of reward that you get, but also the level of results, right? I want you to imagine what that feels like. That is the way our lives were designed to really be. And with that assignment, serve the people that you are designed to serve. And the more you serve, the more you'll be successful. That's what it's like. So those are the three things we have to do. We have to recognize, receive, and repeat our assignment. Because what I don't want, and what I know you don't want, is just to continue going saying, man, I'm just going through the motions in medicine. I'm just going through the motions. Life is not designed. God did not design our lives to just go through the motions and have no meaning in what we do. It is time to recognize, receive, and start to repeat your assignment. And if you need help with that, that is why I'm here. You deserve the meaning and the measurables. You deserve the reward and the results. You deserve the fortune and the fulfillment. But it is going to be contingent upon being successful, which is not just the measurables, but it is getting aligned with what God has designed and assigned for your life.